So I've been fasting for almost like 10 months now. Try to stop eating at 8 o'clock at night time, and I have my first meal at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And what I have for my first meal, a specific set of foods. I have olives, dark chocolate, Brazil nuts, walnuts. I have egg, I have salmon, I have a coffee, and I have pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. And they're mainly like fats because I'm on a ketogenic diet. And so I have amazing energy levels all day, every day. I can go for a walk and I literally could eat at 12 o'clock. And then the next meal I have is my main family meal at 8 o'clock. And I feel so good all the time. And people these days, they're eating so much, so often, unnecessarily. Their brain's thinking of food and they're eating. And they've no idea. Not only that's why everyone's fat, but that's why they feel so shit and feel like tired all the time. Like people, they sleep and they sleep and they sleep and they're still tired. And it's often because of diet.
You're absolutely right, Oliver. Well, diet plays a huge part, in our overall well-being, right? And like my philosophy when healthy lifestyle coach, 80% is the nutrition, and then the 20% is the active lifestyle. So it's not like, the gym session, people work out and all that, right? That's only 20%. But 80%, and just like what you said, right? A lot of people eat all day, their brain cannot function, they're thinking about food all the time. It's a vicious cycle because once you, it actually goes back to what you feed yourself with first thing in the morning, right? The morning you wake up, the first meal that you feed your body basically sets the tone for the rest of the day. So if you wake up and the first thing that you feed your body with is, something that's very high sugar, okay, a lot of people go for. I'll say high caffeine, high sugar, high fats, well, unhealthy fats, not the healthy fats that you eat, then, you actually basically not feeding your body with complete nutrients, feeding your body with mostly, what people go for is sugar dense, carbohydrate dense kind of food. That actually is not, it's actually not doing a good job for your blood sugar levels. Okay, so you go through the cycle of, having your sugar levels spiked and then crashed and then up and down in a roller coaster, right? Um, that sort of like motion. So that actually really kind of manipulates how you crave food all day long. And very often we opt for sugar dense or carbohydrate dense processed food based kind of food, processed, junk food based food, very often that all of those things. And, as a result, right, of putting all this junk food and sugar into your body and creates not only just weight gain, right? Weight gain is a big problem, but also creates a lot of complications that definitely create health issues there.
It is shocking how many people have sandwiches for lunch. It's just become like that's what you do. You have potato and crisps, you have chocolate, you have a sandwich. Sandwich is just bread, right? I looked at a sandwich once and I thought, why is it when I eat a sandwich, it fills me up and I'm hungry like half an hour later? And I looked at the sandwich and I just saw a thin piece of ham, a thin piece of chicken or cheese. I'm like, how the hell is that gonna fill me up? That thin piece of cheese, right? Most of that is the bread. That's what fills you up. But as if you put bread in a glass and it expands, right? That's why you feel full up. But then if you shake the glass around, all the bread just disperse into like nothing, right? And that's why you're hungry again because essentially you're just drinking and it's going through as a liquid. And people eat sandwiches all the time and then they have another snack later because they're hungry. And often when you're hungry, you don't want to have like an olive or bag of nuts and seeds that what are healthy for you. You go for stuff that tastes good, and a lot of healthy stuff doesn't taste good. So you just go for sweets and chocolate, and it's that vicious circle of going up and down, up and down, and up and down, and all of that put together is turning into sugar, which is why people are so overweight. Like almost like half the world, right, is overweight. And people say to me, "God, you're so skinny. You need to put on some weight." I'm like, "No, you're just fat. Look at the food you eat. Look at the foods I eat. Jungle men, caveman, this is what they all look like. They're not malnutritioned. It's just that they have to move and burn off the energy to hunt for new food. And when they get there, it's just like, berries, seeds, nuts, and fish. And this is what we're supposed to look like. I'm the normal weight for a living human. It's just we're so used to seeing fat people all the time. And that's just the norm. It's fucking crazy.
It is, yeah, it is actually. You know what it is, right? The choice that people make, habit, the upbringing, habit, and the habit is essentially how they have been to. It goes back to how everyone's been programmed. That how the kids eat these days at school, right? What are they fed on, and the TV commercials and those social influence, colorful cereals, promoting colorful candies and things like that, right? So you think about it as a kid, you start to get programmed. That's the food, colorful, the yummy McDonald type of like that is should go into your body. And no matter how, say, some parents, say the kids eat vegetables, kids don't want to listen because there's that social influence as well. Because everyone else around them is potato chips and chocolates and cola. That is the to them that is the norm. To be. So if you look at this, everybody modern world somehow programmed, programmed by the social standard, social influence. I don't know, false, misleading, information and promotion to be
Uh,
eating that.
there seems to be a problem with the earphones. Like, keeps cutting out. Like, try taking it. Like taking it. Can you? Is there a mic on the laptop?
The mic, it's no, it's actually from my headphone.
Actually, that sounds a lot better now. Maybe it's just
Okay,
because it's far away. Yeah,
sure, sure. Okay, so
that sounds good.
I'll put it around me so that it's better. Okay, it's better, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely a lot better.
okay, great, great. So I'm gonna
Haven't
put
got
it.
a pair of Apple ones lying around.
Oh no, no, I don't actually, because the Apple one will not connect with my laptop.
Yeah, that's a lot clearer. Anyway, cool. Continue.
Perfect. Yeah, so it goes to, it basically goes back to the habits and also how the habits are programmed into you, and that influences the choices. So the way I see it is that because I work with people who are overweight, I work with a lot of people who have health issues and even low self-esteem for their body. And a lot of women are struggling with body images and body insecurities. And I can see that a lot of it actually stems from habits. A lot of stems from the way, they're programmed to have a very funny relationship with food. Yeah.
It's like I see so many people putting hours in the gym, right? And then they go and eat not necessarily unhealthy foods like McDonald's and KFC, but they're just eating the wrong foods. Like they're having just, bread and pasta, stuff that isn't really supposed to be in our body. They're having like chips and just stuff that is not supposed to be in our body. And it's like, if only you knew that if you stopped eating that and actually fasted, you wouldn't need to go to the gym. It's like you put on the weight for eating the wrong foods, you go to the gym to burn it off, and then you eat the wrong foods again. Like when I started to fast, yeah, and I started to eat my specific keto meal, I lost a stone and a half. Now I'm 8.5 stone, which is light anyway, right, for a 27-year-old. But I used to be 10 stone when I wasn't on this diet. So I significantly lost weight through fasting and also having this pure fat diet. So I tend to stay away from carbohydrates, sugars, things of salt. I pretty much just live off water. One of my friends who I mentored, I told her to just drink 3 liters of water every day. And she cut out drinking Diet Coke and Red Bulls and energy drinks. She, no joke, said she lost about a stone and a half. And I was like, I haven't even got, that's the first step of the system. Like drinking water is the first step. Next is diet and exercise. But she lost a stone by drinking water because then you get too full up and you don't snack. And people take for granted. You see snacks everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's adverts. People are eating just pasta and sandwiches and a chocolate bar. All that adds up and it has to go somewhere. And your body can't use that as energy, so it just puts it to one side and I'll deal with it later. And then you have another chocolate bar, another bag of crisps, and it's like, well, I'll deal with that later. And you've got all this fucking stuff to deal with, aka fat on the waist. That's just building up. And I honestly believe that people only age on the outside because they get fat and their skin stretches. So, like a balloon, you blow it up, it stretches. When it goes down, it doesn't go back to the same elasticity that it was. Aging is actually on the inside, and what you eat on the inside affects you on the outside. But in terms of wrinkles, I do believe that it's man-made and by what we do. Because if you look at really old, like say 80-year-old jungle men, they're slim. You wouldn't know what age they are, but their skin's just they got grey hair, of course, but their skin's just tight and it's good. And the only reason why you get stretch marks is because your skin had to like adapt to the fat or the muscles. I believe that a lot of people who go to the gym, especially men, because they have excessive muscle, their skin stretches. That when they're older and they stop going to the gym, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock, they're going to be very wrinkly because it's had to expand because of muscle and weight gain. And if you didn't expand muscle and put on weight, you would simply just have nice elasticity, however you say that word, skin. You know?
Firmness in the skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's very simple. It comes down to cells. And I speak about cellular nutrition a lot, like what you feed your cells, right? If you feed your cells with good nutrition, then we're all made from, trillions of cells. Then very easily that your skin, is better when your cells get rejuvenated, regenerated, repaired. Then as a result, the outside, the appearance automatically becomes better as well, right? And I've actually seen cases where people who gone through weight loss transformation and their skin get better. I should say it. Well, when they actually put in the right nutrients, they basically replenish like collagen, right? And the protein collagen, which are actually two very important elements, biotin, to make up, for the skin firmness. And all of those have to come from your food source, what you put into your body. So it really comes down to taking the right nutrients for your body, for your cells. And it's as simple as that. And back to what you were saying before about, how these days we're surrounded by all these choices of snacks, food choices, all the junk food that makes people fat, and a lot of the food choices that are sugar based. Um, the question I would like to ask is, rather than looking at them and go pointing finger at all these food industries, yes, they have a certain responsibility because firstly, they need to make money. And then secondly, human technology has come to a point where we're so smart. We can always come up with artificial food so that it tastes yummy, right? And they can, make you addicted. So we can't stop that, right? And we can fight and protest and complain about it as much as we can. That's not gonna stop. As long as we're evolving, the food industry, the technology is evolving. We are always gonna have probably more and more, I would say, artificially made things. So now the question is, we're so smart and we have the technology. Are we gonna implement the technology into, say, making more healthy food? And that's starting to happen. I can see that there are, for example, the plant-based movement is very big right now, right? By the way, I'm vegetarian myself, so that there's a lab-made kind of meat movement coming out, because a lot of people crave eating uh, animal meat, but they don't want to slaughter animals, get it from the actual animal source. So, it's a new thing. There's a lab made. That's technology as well. And a lot lab kind of grown sort of plants. Okay. So my point is, with the technology, I think it's probably better when you actually can fully utilize, capitalizing the technology for that than making more and more, say, artificial flavoring, additive kind of like food that actually makes us sick. And the next question is, how do we how do we amplify how do we amplify the message, the education of eating healthy, feeding your body with the right food? So that's where I kind of like to question. So that it's not like we're in a battle with the food industry, but it's more like we're bringing the awareness for more people so they know how to choose the right food for themselves than just like sitting here and go, oh, those things, they're here to blame. What can we do to increase the awareness?
Yeah, everyone is simply blaming everyone else for all their problems, government, parents, school, everyone else. No one is responsible for their own actions. And it's easier said than done. But if people would just take responsibility for how they are, then there wouldn't be any problems, because if everyone dealt with their own issues, there wouldn't be any issues, because the issues are the things that you don't want. And people forget that they are in control of their body. Yes, you can go to the gym, but you got to understand, like, there's an actual underlining problem here, which is, why are you going to the gym? Or because I'm big. Why are you big? Because I eat too much. It's not necessarily because you eat too much. You're eating the wrong foods. Like, as I said, your body's going to put aside the stuff that it can't deal with. And I I do believe that people, for example, right, disease can't live in an alkali state body, right? And so much food has acid. Like, it's just, your body has to build up its own acids to break down strong foods. So certain meats and whatever, you build up your own acids. But lots of food has so much acid in that that's going around your body, and it's not supposed to be in our body. And that's why there's so much disease, like so much disease, heart disease, like heart attacks, diabetes, Crohn's. It all comes from food. Have you heard much about lectins?
Lectins, yes, I have. Yeah.
So simple stuff like that, right? 90% of food has lectins in that we all eat. And lectins are basically, as you know, a drug in itself. It says, give me more of that. So you put a Dorito in your body, and the lectins in the Dorito are like, give me more Doritos. So you eat more Doritos. So I do believe that, the mind can control pretty much everything. But the biology side of it, it's like, the disease is going to spread, mind or not. It's like, if a mushroom on a tree, that's like fungus, right? It's going to keep dividing. So you can't really do anything but remove that fungus, as in not eat the foods that have lectins in, because when it's in your body, it's going to want more. But it's tricky, because I used to be addicted to crisps growing up. And I now look back and I realize that all those crisps are pretty much potato and corn, full of lectins. And I literally just used to keep eating crisps after crisps. And my body just lived in a crisp state. Not only the salt and the flavorings of the MSG, but just the lectins and the crisp. And I used to just keep eating them. And I went through like crisp bans for like months, and I just wasn't craving them anymore. And just like, smoking and alcohol, you got to give your body a chance to recover. That's why fasting for me is so incredible. And I do believe that anyone can lose weight by fasting and eating like the correct food, whether it's keto, whether it's vegetarian or vegan. Forget the reason or the cause behind the vegan diet, but the vegan food is just simply natural foods. People can lose weight if they fast, give them their body a chance to burn off the fat that's there, and eat the correct foods. Your body will start to, like a machine. If you get the right oil, it will just start to regenerate and start working again. We're giving it all the wrong oil. It's like giving a petrol car diesel. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there. Fasting is powerful, man. It really is. And yet, like, people, apart from religious people, I don't think people, unless you're in the fitness world, choose to do it because they like food too much. And it's not that they like food too much, it's the food you're putting in wants more of the food you gave it. It's the lectins again, you know?
Yeah, I think um, it also kind of has a lot to do with the lifestyle as well. Like a lot of people, due to the lifestyle, they mentally just reject fasting. And I get this a lot. A lot of people are very curious about fasting. A lot of people have tried, and I myself had tried as well. And I'll say that when someone wants to fast, I always suggest them to prepare for it first before fasting. Don't just jump into it because it could be very dangerous, right? If they don't know how to do it properly and they're not well prepared, and also, with the lifestyle, a lot of times they can't focus, they really basically can't function at work or whatever is it that they're doing. So, like when people come to me and talk to me about fasting, I'm talking about people who are curious, they want to attempt this for whatever reason. I always tell them that you need to know why you're fasting first. Don't do it because everyone else is doing it. You have to be sure that with guidance, so you know how to do it, you research first. Okay? Like yourself, you've done it yourself, you understand, the science behind it, what is it doing to your body. But there are a lot of people out there, really don't know how to do it. They just found on Google, they hear about it all the time on the internet, and you know, like for me, like I'm always very mindful with my community and everybody, and I am mindful of what I'm saying, and you know, like I'm not someone who's like my practice is different to yours, which is completely fine. I embrace all different practices, and when people come to me for advice on like all these different types of diet, you know, like I give them all the pros and cons. That's what I do, right? Like, you know, it's good, this is good for that, right? But at the same time, you got to be careful. This could also cause all these things, right? So you have to kind of see um, what is important for you right now. What is your goal, right? And what does your body need, and what does your health transformation, your body transformation need at this stage? Is this the right thing for you? So that's what I always give them. You know, everything, every choice, every methodology, food choice, and all that, there's pros and cons. There's always a pros and cons in everything. And with what's happening in the world right now, it, I don't think we will ever be in a utopia. It would be ideal if everybody can eat well, if everybody can be healthy, and but I don't think we'll ever be in that utopia. That's the reality. But which is why, we need more people, more conscious souls like yourself, like the community we're in, to, to empower more people to start to live more consciously, right? And to make the right decisions. So we can actually create that balance. I'm always, I'm very big on the yin yang balance. And, in certain situations, the positive, the conscious and the positive power can definitely overtake the negative power. Okay? But there will never be an absolute, I should say, a perfect world where everybody can be like happy and healthy. I don't think that exists.
No, so like there's no such thing as a perfect or a non-perfect world. It's different tribes, different cultures, different lifestyles doing something which is not the same as what you're doing. So it's seen as difference when it's just a different way of living. But you're right, fasting without giving yourself the correct food, it's a disaster because you're going to feel so shit, and that's going to be a reason to go back to your pattern. You can't just eat the food that you're eating and fast because you want to lose weight, because your body has got the wrong food in it anyway, and now you're not giving it food for say 16 hours, and so now it hasn't got enough food, plus you've got the wrong food. You're going to feel even more tired. So for me, the keto diet was the perfect transition between stop eating carbs and sugars and the foods I used to eat, give myself the correct food, the fats. So now my body can burn off the correct energy when I'm fasting, and it can use the ketones as energy when I haven't got the food. And when it uses the ketones, you just like take all the fats in that body, right, and burn it off because you haven't eaten for quite a while. And the ketogenic diet mixed with the fasting is the perfect yin and yang recipe. It's like if you don't have one without the other, it's not going to work, and it's fine. It's the precise reason somebody who wants an excuse not to do it will go back. And you're right, you need to know why you're fasting. You can't just do it because you're told by your coach you're going to lose weight because everyone's started to do it. If you do something without the knowledge, your brain is always going to find a reason against it because it wasn't your thought initially. But if it's your thought initially and you say, tell me why I'm doing this, tell me how to do it, why do I need to eat these foods? Why can't I just eat these foods and fast? And through knowledge and understanding, you gain control of your decisions. And now, when you're hungry at, say, 10 o'clock, looking at the clock thinking, fuck, 2 hours left, you've got a reason to keep going for till 12 rather than just thinking, oh, I'm just going to have a snack, why not? And you give in. And it all comes down to discipline in the mind, which is another thing. There's all good knowing about why you're fasting, but if you have got a weak mind where you give in easily, that's also not going to be very good to get you to 12 o'clock. And in the early stages, I used to be really hungry. And I realized something my whole life when I was hungry growing up, I used to eat. I did not know by drinking water, like quite a lot of water, because our stomach's quite big, right? And the acids build up. You can't just have a mouthful. You've literally got to down like 500 milliliters of water. You neutralize the acids, and that hunger feeling disappears. And what's amazing is if I look back and I think, how many times was I hungry? And I just ate a sandwich or pack of crisps or chocolate, right? If I just drunk the water, how much better I would have felt. I wouldn't have had to eat. I wouldn't have had that spike in energy levels. It's really fascinating how people need to drink water when they're hungry instead of eating. It's fascinating how you literally will go right and suddenly you'll go left. It's fucking incredible how I don't feel hungry when I drink water. It's phenomenal. It literally is.
Very often, we are just thirsty. We're not hungry. We're just thirsty. So just go for water, and it's not really hunger. Again, like I mentioned before, it's really the habits. Whenever you feel something is missing, you opt for food, snack, and snack is always very abundant in any situation, in the office or at home, right? And if you drink the right amount of water, you will not be dehydrated, and you will not be like, your body would not send out that craving signal, right? That okay, I'm dehydrated right now, so feed me with something. And without the right knowledge and the right sort of like nutritional habits, then people go for snacks instead of drinking, and obviously making your body acidic again, right? And so yeah, drinking water is a big thing. Definitely. Just before this hangout session, I was actually just talking to some of my clients who are in my program about water, and it's very funny to see how people struggle with that, and then they try to bargain with me at the beginning that, oh, can I not drink this much? Can I just drink this bit? My body cannot handle so much. And I said, because a lot of people don't have the habit of drinking water, and then suddenly you give them a water task to do, they just feel like, oh my god, this is the hardest challenge. How am I going to put all this water into my body? And it's actually very simple. You just sip on the water gradually. You don't have to down, drown yourself in like 1 liter 2 liter at one time, and that is not healthy, by the way. If you down over a liter, like in 30 minutes or in a short period of time, constantly, your body could get, intoxicated actually. So, and also it's harmful for the kidney. So when you break it down for everybody, like, hey, if you have to do 3 liters a day, you simply just, divide into different time interval, and then remind yourself you have to bind yourself with the discipline so that it will programs you, and you will get into the habit. You will develop the discipline of drinking, say, like 200 ml at every, say 15 minutes. And then, what I usually do, it's a very simple way of tracking is I get everybody to get a 1 liter water bottle, or I have this one here. It's 2 liters. Okay, yeah, that's great. Yours is like what? Is that 2 liters or 1 liter? I can't see it.
this is
It's
this is 1 liter. What's yours?
two. I have a 2 liter one.
Oh wow.
You see how big it is compared to
Yeah,
my face. Yeah. So I carry this with me all the time,
yeah, same.
and a lot of my clients carry one of these as well. And you see the marking here, and I'll tell them, I usually give them a timetable so they can follow, like by what time you need to finish that, and then you have your lunch, and then after lunch you fill up again, and then you drink this, and so this is a task they have to follow. If they don't see that bottle emptied, then they know that okay, not on track today. And over time, that habit is built up, and they start to see the benefits. Once they follow that, for a little while, say 21 days, build up a new habit, they can see, oh, wow, I start to have better toileting, my bowel movement's better, right? I feel a lot lighter. Because your body, the water goes in and helps your body detox and cleanse essentially, and skin's better, helps with the weight loss and everything. All these benefits they can really see. Once people see the benefit, they will want to drink more water, and obviously by then the habits already been built, right? Yeah, water is essence, and we are 60-70% of our body is made up by water. And the beautiful thing is our body is like Earth, planet Earth. What planet Earth is like is exactly like our body. And on Earth, there's about 60-70% of water, the ocean, exactly the same as our body. So if we don't nourish it, it's going to be a drought, and there will be a disaster happening. So, and when you visually think about our body as, Mother Earth, as a planet Earth, you're like, aha, right, okay, I need to take care of this.
Yeah, I tell people like You wouldn't give your plant milk. You wouldn't feed your plants Coke or Red Bull. It would fucking die. It just wouldn't grow. We are no different to that plant. So you give yourself Red Bull, Coke, milk, it's not gonna grow. And think about how people don't really get much sleep to remove toxins. The only other way is to give your body water to remove toxins for your kidneys, right? And yet people aren't drinking water. So you're giving your brain Red Bull, Coke, everything but the actual thing that it needs. Just like we're eating all the wrong foods when we simply just should be eating like, nuts, olives, and berries. Just take it back to like years and years ago. Like everything's just gone to pot with the influence of so many different people. Um, your body will recover, just like if you water a plant that has brown leaves, it will start to grow, it will recover. And people think it happens overnight. You have to, as you said, it takes like 21 days for a pattern to change, for you to get into a routine, for your brain to to get into a new pattern. It doesn't happen overnight, and people want change now. And if they don't have a reason to move forward, they will always revert back. Like they have to come to you and say, "Tell me how to lose weight," and you say, "Drink water," and they'll keep following you because you said you've got to do it for 21 days and they'll see results. And they trust you, they want change, and they follow. They see results. And then the other half is you tell them to drink water and they say, "Why? Why have I got to do this? Why? If you're asking why, fortunately, you're just going to relapse. Unfortunately, if somebody says to you how, they will often make it through that 21 days. And as you said, you have to change people one by one, change yourself and change others around you. Or, like, for example, you change yourself, five people ask, "How did you do that?" And then you've got 20 other people around you who you're telling why they should do that. Those people, unfortunately, won't follow unless you're telling them. And the five people who ask you will then tell five people. So, yeah, it all starts from within, from that one seed spreading out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I have truly understood that you can't change the world, but you can only change five people. You can change five people. And then when you think about that, it's a weight off your shoulder because you want to help so many people. You see so much problems and you know the answers, and you realize you can't help these people unless they ask to be helped, sadly. And it's a peace when you realize this. And you just focus on purifying yourself and then purifying others who want to be purified.
100%, 100%. Yes, every change starts from ourselves, right? Be the change that we want to see. So, it's like you said, it's planting the seeds. And also, when it comes to health transformation, personal wellness transformation, it actually starts from, it actually doesn't start from the methods, like we tell people how you do it. It starts from the mindset. It starts from here. I've come across a lot of cases where you give them the how to, you give them the methods, the strategies, they don't go and follow it. Like it doesn't matter what they follow, they could still go and search for another method and go around and all day long and jumping from one method to another, never lose the weight, for example, or never really got better. It essentially comes down to the mindset. The mind tells them that they don't want to do it. The mind tells them that they just want to be entertained, for with the idea. And until the mindset work has been done, then it will be easier for them to follow the method, right? Like I love the 80-20 rule that we always speak about. I mean, firstly, at the beginning of our hangout, I spoke about 80% nutrition, 20% fitness. Okay, that's one 80-20 rule. And another 80-20 rule is the 80% mindset and 20% method, right? So the method at the end of the day is just 20% of the whole equation. But 80% comes down to what, what your mindset is like, what, how inspired, how motivated, how driven you are. And also all this crap going on inside, the conditioning, the upbringing, and, the beliefs, the thoughts, everything, that it all stems from that, everything comes from that. And very often I've found that with my clients, those who have done better, better mindset foundation work, the weight loss journey becomes a lot easier for them. It just flows, with no resistance, with I will say no, but little resistance, with less road bumps. Those who don't have the mindset or have not laid the foundation, the mindset foundation, are always gonna encounter road bumps and always gonna have high resistance. And no matter what methods you give them. They cannot follow through, no discipline. So, it's, yeah, so that if you zoom out and look at the whole picture, it's simple, just most people lacking the mindset. And the first thing about mindset is the why, right? Why do you want to do it? And rather than like, okay, I want to lose weight, okay, let's do it this way. You drink the water, you eat like that, and blah 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 blah, right? I don't jump straight into the method, because a lot of times people are not ready. They're not ready. Like you said, they can only be changed if the part of the mindset, part of how should I say, the heart is telling them that, I have a good reason to change myself this time, because whatever their reason is, and that reason has to be so strong that, that it makes them cry, that, they would not find excuses. So yeah, so this is where the mindset part comes in. Yeah.
I'm very against things like liposuction and all these man-made things to make you lose weight. It literally is like having a broken leg and then putting a steroid in your leg and then going for a walk, right? These things to the outside seem like you've got what you wanted, but you are the exact same person as you were before. It's going to become a point where you know you shouldn't be eating these certain foods, and you're eventually going to tell yourself no so much where that thought is going to just build and build and build in your mindset that you're just going to suddenly binge because you have that thought that you've told yourself no because I shouldn't, and it's going to do even worse. So you feel like you've lost the weight on the outside, but your mindset is exactly the same. Now you've got all these thoughts in your head because you are the same person. You're telling yourself no. It's like telling a child no, telling a dog no, you can't have that. He doesn't understand why. And what happens when you tell a child no? He just keeps asking why. And that thought in your head will keep going round and round and round until you just binge on a bar of chocolate or something. So every problem, even like a Veruca, right? I had a Veruca, right? And I was picking off the top bit and it kept growing back. I didn't understand why. I thought, okay, black dot's gone, Veruca's gone. And it grew back. And I said to my mum, why the fuck have I sought this Veruca? She says it's a root. I didn't know it was a root. And so you got to go to like the one dot. It's like you have five dots, right? And that goes to four to three to two to one. I thought, okay, well, I've now got three. I had five, so it's going down. I pick the one off and it grows to three. I'm like, what the hell? So it all starts from one cellular root. And I realized that we all energy, and if you're a negatively charged person, you're weak in energy. So it's hard to get yourself into a pattern of mindset in order to change. But it's a vicious circle because you need to change your diet and your lifestyle in order to give yourself some like boost in energy. So it's, well, how do I get myself there if I need to change my diet, but I need willpower in order to change my diet to get my energy levels there? And that comes with somebody forcing you out or dragging you out. Like that's where you need that parent discipline. And then we realize afterwards, actually, my dad was right. He was right. I should have done that. Sometimes you need a little bit of force to get people out, not in a bad control way, but for their own good way. And if you truly believe what you're doing is going to benefit them, and they will end up saying, "Thank you for forcing me to drink this water. Thank you." It's a risk worth taking, because at the end of the day, it makes you feel good. It changes their life, and some people just need a punch in the mouth to sort themselves out. Bully. They all say best way to stop someone bullying you is to punch him in the face. Like tell the teacher it doesn't work. They need to feel the pain that you are feeling. Okay, it goes back to the basics. Two animals fighting over a female, fighting over territory. They need to have their face ripped off in order to back down. Okay, laws and governments are good, and policing are good, but the reality is that a lot of problems exist because we don't have a way out. We don't have that shit. I can't do that again because it's just someone's there to clean up our mess. If you get fat, liposuction. If it's just no one's addressing the core problem in anything anymore.
Mm, right. Actually, I just want to point out something that when it comes to any changes, whether it's like, life change, well-being change, uh, the first thing that anybody should think about is, we're talking about mindset before, right? Is the the long term, the long-term sustainability, right? When it comes to like all those methods like liposuction or like surgical kind of like how should I say, quick fix. It's really just for an superficial and short-term, short-term fix, basically, quick short-term fix. It's not gonna fix, the root, like you say, the root of the problem. It's not gonna fix the mindset, and it is not long-term, okay? Because you're still, for example, living an unhealthy lifestyle. Just because you got rid of all the excessive weight, but a lot of the main issues are not fixed, right? So I like to always think about, what is a long-term growth? Long-term growth, sustainability, and also a long-term lifestyle. Everything that I do with my community has to lead to a long-term, lifestyle. Then, okay, you're doing, I don't know, crash diet right now. It's great because you're gonna look great for your sister's wedding next month. Okay, what happens after that? If you gain the knowledge and all the things that you need to sustain yourself like this and to keep yourself healthy for the rest of your life, right? Are you able to help other people to live like that? Or you're essentially just coming here for a quick fix. You're gonna go back to what you were doing before, right? So those are the things that also comes into the whole mindset work as well, and laying the foundation. And sustainability is definitely something that everybody should think about as part of the foundation. And once the foundation is strong, then the 20% of the method just flows, and you know that, okay, great, I'm going to go with this method here, say with this coach particularly, and stick with that and get my results, and you will have a long lasting, it's a long lasting result, which is not only just in the body, but you know in the awareness, in the mindset, and in the whole well-being. That's what I'm passionate about.
Like, seriously, diet is literally, somebody said to me the other day, we are following the nutrition leader to our death, right? Meaning we are eating so much stuff and so much of the wrong stuff that we don't understand that that is why everyone's got disease. Like, if we were eating the correct foods, we would live for long, healthy lives. Yeah. I fast now, and I don't think that I will ever not fast again, because I look back, right, and I think when it was 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been thinking about food all night, thinking about having a midnight snack. If I eat the midnight snack, I still got stomach acids in the morning, or breaking it down, so I'm hungry in the morning. And if I don't eat, my mind is still thinking of food, which is creating the stomach acids. It's a vicious circle. And I would eat in the morning, right? And I just keep eating, like unnecessarily eating for like 4 hours between 8 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. Unnecessarily eating. It cost more money. I was shitting more. I actually had less energy. I've got more energy when I fast. If I fast till say 2 in the afternoon as opposed to 12, sometimes I used to when I was podcasting, I feel even better. I feel even better the longer I fast. Um, but 50% of people, like these, they say the cancer statistic is like 1 in 2 people get cancer or whatever. And it's like, you have to understand, why is everyone now getting diseases so much more than they did, like say 20 years ago? And it comes down to diet almost every single time. And Dr. Gundry, I don't know whether you know that person, he was the guy who I learned about lectins and shit. He taught me so much about food and nutrition, along with fasting, and how he fasts and how he eats a very like keto diet, has certain foods, doesn't have certain foods. He literally looks 20 years younger than he did 20 years ago, and he's 20 years older. And I want to be the oldest person on the planet, right? And I am so aware that the things I do right now affects me tomorrow. Like, fasting slows down aging. It honestly, like, diet and fasting it's a godsend. It literally is. It's weird to think how you'd feel so much better with less food when people eat food when they haven't got any energy. But it's just knowledge. It all comes down to knowledge. Um, Knowledge is powerful.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. So, I'm actually very curious. Like when you do, your one-on-one coaching with your clients, right? Do you also teach them to, change their diet as part of, the transformation?
So right now, I don't do one-on-one coaching. It's something that I want to do. I'm leading up to it, but I'm somebody who hasn't had a tendency to jump from A to B, as you said. They quick fix here, quick fix there, change your diet, vegan, keto, liposuction, do this, do that. I was that person. So I'm really grounded now where I'm doing my podcasts and then I'll go on to other things because otherwise I'll just go fucking million miles an hour, yeah. But when I used to teach people, like say 3 years ago, when I had a part-time job, I would have a system, and it would always be like, for example, tidy your room, don't throw things on the floor, hang it up, go to bed at the same time, sleep without a pillow, sleep with no curtains, drink water all the time, eat a certain amount of food rather than overeating, fast. I'd put together all these systems together because they all go into one thing. What was the question? I forgot.
Oh no, about eating, yeah, because it sounds like you are very passionate about, your diet, right? You know, your current diet, and do you actually advocate, when it comes to like, the people around you? Do you advocate, what you eat, and also empower your circle with the diet practice that you have?
Yeah, so as you said, it's about the mindset first. You can't just tell somebody to start eating healthily if they've got a shitty bedroom floor. Like, you have to understand it's the mind before the physical body. So tidying the room gets their mind focused and ordered for that change. And diet is the central part because you need to get the mindset ready first and then the diet. Because if you've got a weak mindset, you're going to relapse. You're just going to lay in bed, eat a bag of Doritos and throw it on the floor. Whereas if your bedroom's tidy, then you won't throw it on the floor. But more importantly, hopefully you won't eat the Doritos. So the diet ends up changing the mood and the energy levels, right? Um, it changes the energy levels in your mood. And now you feel really good and you look around and you've got a nice clean bedroom and everything's in order. Now you've got 2 out of 3 rather than just jumping to stage 2. But yeah, diet is so important. I say, fast. No, don't do like the 16-hour fast. Simple, something like stop eating after 8. Most people eat after 8, like eat before bed. Forget the morning fast. Just stop eating like after 8, right? And then you would go on to eating at 9, then 9:30, then 10, then 10:30, and then 11. You can't just go from like eating like Cocoa Pops at 8 until like not eating at 12. It's going to be very hard. Even for me, a strong-minded human, was hard for me. Things take change, and then eventually you go into 12. Now I could easily fast till 2. I literally could fast till 2. Like, it's so easy to do. Easier said than done, of course. But yeah, fasting, eating the right food is the amazing, it just changes everything. It affects your mood, your energy. You have so much more energy, like energy that can store in you rather than go out into the food. Like, rather than burning energy, burning the food, the energy isn't, it just stays in you because there's nothing to burn. So now you are supercharged. Like, it's like driving a petrol car without you burning any petrol. It's like you can go for a lot longer. Did I answer your
Definitely.
question?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Yes. So, it's great that, we have this talk. And I hope a lot of people get to, watch this and get the message. And, the message can get out there to impact a lot of people's, lifestyle, right? Hopefully after, listening to this podcast, people want to start to drink more water and start to eat better. And little changes here and there can go a long way. And like, the more we spread the message about, healthy eating, better nutritional habits and mindsets, the more, yes, the more positivity there will be, when people's diet is changed. Yeah. So, Oliver, I have to get ready soon for my next call. So if there's anything else you want to chat about, let me know. We can, is it okay that we wrap it up in like 5 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. Quickly plug anything you want to plug right now, and then we'll just talk until you have to go to the end.
Yeah, no problems. Like, I'm also very interested to know, like, from your perspective, right? Um, what is energy to you? Because energy, yes, it comes from food, right? But also, energy can also come from a lot of other sources. I just want to know from your experience and your practice, how do you gain energy from food?
So one without the other is the same, right? You need the biology and the physics because we are a physical thing. We're not just energy anymore. So you need positive energy to give you that high vibration, which means your body can move quicker and you have more energy to do stuff. But you need a good diet to give your muscles the fuel it needs after you've burnt the energy. So you need biology and physics. You need the diet and energy. So happiness, positive energy, basically happiness, feeling good is an energy source as itself. Okay. But then food, you now have twice the amount of energy because when you have energy, you want to move. And if you haven't got the right food to replace your, the cells that have been used, you're just gonna you're going to get tired. But if you have good food like I do and happiness, you literally can walk a mountain and you feel like you haven't done anything. Like you literally can keep going. So happiness and diet creates like unlimited energy. Obviously, it's not unlimited, but so much energy is
Long life.
created by positive vibration, happiness, and diet. It's a combination of both. It's like going to KFC and getting chicken wings and chips. It comes together. You know what I mean?
It's a combo, right? The energy combo. So the happiness and the diet. That's great. Maybe that could be the title for this podcast.
Yeah, quickly, like say any social medias, websites that you want to do in case you run out of time, like plug, promote, whatever you want to do right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah. So right now I'm very passionate about growing my body confidence movement, and we have a club called the Body Confidence Club. So I'm growing that worldwide right now, and it's actually for ladies only. Okay, and I have a lot of like men in my community. So they're plugged into another another community. So I have two. One is Body Confidence Club, and one is Body Confidence Builders. So for gentlemen, who want to come into the community, you can go to my private Facebook group, and I'll probably give Oliver the link. And I don't know where you want to put it down, where you can go and find me. I go in there and do daily coaching. So in Body Confidence Builder group, I do daily live coaching and give golden nuggets about how to build body confidence, nutrition, mindset, and fitness. Yeah, so that's what I'm growing right now, and I am very, very passionate about empowering women. So focused on empowering women from all over the world, from different backgrounds, to basically build confidence for themselves. But firstly, start from the confidence for the body, how to battle and conquer body image and body struggles and insecurities, and then from there to find their own purpose and their happiness and self-love, so that the transformation I'm helping the ladies to build is not just the body transformation, but it's a total mind and body transformation. So that's what I'm working on right now. Very happy that a lot of the ladies in my community are getting amazing profound results already. I'll be sharing that on my Facebook more. And yeah, so everyone's welcome to come and check out my channel, my YouTube channel, Authentic Energy. And if you go to Facebook or Instagram, just search Authentic Energy. That is my wellness brand. So Authentic Energy is essentially body confidence. You search Authentic Energy, you can find me there. And anything that you want to know about mindset development, body confidence, healthy lifestyle, happy lifestyle, positive energy, you can find it on my channel. Yeah,
Amazing. Anything else you want to say before I stop the recording?
I think that's it. Yeah, well, thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. It's been a pleasure actually speaking about diet and fasting and different things that are very important and a lot of people need to hear. I love that. I love what you're doing right now, and keep going. It can definitely grow and reach out to millions and millions of people. I'm very, very grateful for your time and your your love and care for everyone. Yes.
Amazing. I'm going to press stop, okay, and I'm going to say goodbye. So just wait there, okay?